All in Sports Network. We love sports.
Colts, presented by the Unstable Blues.
Welcome back. In this episode, we will discuss the Colts' 16-10 loss in Lambeau, go over the stats, identify our Mayflower move, and stars the game. So let's go. All in Colts.
I'm Kevin. This is my son Liam, and we are the Unstable Blues. Happy to present All In Colts as part of the Rogue Media Sports Network.
Yep.
First things first, we're going to go over the injuries from this game. Obviously, there were injuries heading into the game with Julian Blackmon. That was a surprise to some people, a lot of people, but not, at least not this guy.
Yeah.
I saw that whenever Juju, obviously that's the other one, Juju being on extended IR, whenever they announced Juju, they strangely brought back a safety, and I was like, what? And then later that day, the injury report came out, and Julian Blackmon didn't practice because of a shoulder, and I went,
yeah,
that's why. So those are the two heading in, but Buck, did you see it?
I don't think I did, no.
It was bad. It was listed. Shane just said he had an ankle.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has much of an ankle left. He went down, and his whole body, like his toe was like this. His whole body went whoop. It seemed like a Dak Prescott from a few years ago, if you know what I remember that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I know what you're talking about.
He in Pitt's post-game locker room, you could see Buck in the background going on crutches.
That's not good. Yeah, and then Latu.
We'll just say this. I'm gonna call it right now. This is not a risk it for the brisket. Yeah, I think he's done for the season.
Okay, yeah. And then Latu ended up hurting his hip. I don't know when because I was watching Red Zone, but he hurt his hip somewhere along the way.
Yeah, it must have been late because he was a beast in a lot of different ways and in different fashions. It could have been, I guess, in the third quarter. I didn't notice that he was out. I noticed Dio was in there, but sometimes they're in there together. So, So those are the injuries that we know of as of yet. JT also mysteriously did not play any in the fourth quarter. At all, any. But Shane didn't seem. Shane seemed surprised that he didn't play, but also didn't think that he knew of anything that was wrong.
Gotcha.
Unless they're hiding something.
Also, another thing before we get going on the actual game.
Yeah.
Some other Indiana news. Hoosiers won their third game of college football this year against UCLA 42-14. So not like a pushover team at all. New Big Ten team, but they got it done in conference play. Pretty big for the Hoosiers there.
Yeah, it's still so weird that UCLA is conference. So weird.
It is. It's weird that Hoosiers are winning football games.
It is. All things weird. Okay.
Yep.
I like it. All right, let's go through the narrative here
Yeah.
of how this game went down. It's kind of like the Colts forgot what happened last week because at the beginning of the game, at least, the same thing happened again.
Yep. They had Green Bay just had the scheme to run side to side and up the middle, just like Joe Mixon did with the team from Houston last week.
They made Malik Willis look somewhere like Lamar or Mahomes, something that dates back to last year when they made quarterbacks look really good that didn't need to look that good.
Yep. The Packers also imposed their will in the first half with the Colts having 12 plays and 6 minutes and 55 of possession and 78 yards of total offense.
The darkest of outlooks was turned around, though, as Zaire Franklin caused a Josh Jacobs fumble at the goal line that was recovered in the end zone
Touchback
by Latu.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they weren't able to capitalize on that turnover.
Yeah. Although the first half didn't go so well, the Colts were able to turn it around in the second half with 253 yards, with 12 minutes and 54 of total possession.
Yep, better. It's better. Still not quite half of the possession, which is a problem we might discuss later. You said swell.
I
All
did say
right.
swell. Yeah.
Go for it. I like that. Cool. Anthony Richards' second interception was a backbreaker. But amazingly, they were still in the game in the fourth quarter because of the sheer unreal abilities of AR.
Yeah. That last play, I was watching Red Zone, but they had it on because just of all the things that were happening.
Yeah.
They got the stop, which honestly, as soon as I saw the Packers recover the onside, I'm like, with knowing what happened last week, I'm like, they're gonna just be able to run the clock out.
Yeah.
And then
you recover the onside there, you're already in field goal range, just about.
Mm-hmm. And then we stopped them, and like what they didn't score a field goal.
No,
they punted us the ball
because they pushed them back and they out of field goal range.
Yep.
And so they had to punt it. They actually took the 5-yard to have more room to punt it.
Now they dropped an amazing punt. It was like at the 5 or something like that. Very good punt. Should have just let the ball go.
Thank you. I was thinking this. He fair caught it at the 5. Fair catch it, wave your arm, fake him out, then let it go. Right? Like play a little gamesmanship.
It's just inexperience in the NFL.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. So he shouldn't have caught it. I mean, but like everything. I mean, they still went down the field in little amount of time, and they got into a position. I think every Colts fan that followed training camp was like, AR can make this throw.
Yep.
But he didn't, which was, I mean, I guess he had to kind of wiggle around a little bit and kind of threw it awkward. But like, still, I mean, even if you're coming up, you should, especially for AR. I mean, he threw 57 in the air off his back foot to Pierce last week.
It is different if you do that in the flow of the game rather than everybody knowing it's a Hail Mary.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But that's the thing I thought was crazy was like the last play that like with AR's skill set, you could look at that and go, well, it's going to be a Hail Mary. But with him, if they were only going to rush 3, which they didn't, they rushed 5 to put more pressure on, and they went with the coverage they had. If they were only going to rush 3, he has a chance to just let them go, clear out, and pull a 6-man football thing and just take off and use that space and potentially, flip the script on the Hail Mary in that moment because of his skills, right? He needs a couple good blocks and a couple of breaking tackles, and could change everything. So
yeah, agreed. I mean,
but the game did mark the first ever declared onside kick.
Yep. And our second team had the second ever onside kick as well. Just close after that too, which was a disappointing loss for them as well.
Yep.
But that is for a different time.
It is.
On to the stat sheet though. Jonathan Taylor rushed for 103 on 12 attempts for 8.6 per carry. Did I not say in our fantasy episode to start Jonathan Taylor because he's going to have a big week?
You did. We'll get into that a couple days from now or so. So you were right. And like, that's a good day. You go for over 100 on only 12. That's a really good day.
Yeah, it is.
AR added 37 yards on 3 carries for a total of 140 yards on the ground for the Colts.
Yep. AR also threw for 198 not quite 200 on
Yep.
17 for 34. So he went 50% there with 1 touchdown and the 3 interceptions.
Yep. Good quick math there on that percentage wise. I can tell you as a college student. Alec Pierce was the top target again with 5 grabs for 56 yards and the touchdown. Also, little congratulations. He was a childhood Packers fan. Grew up in Chicago, but his family on one side was all Packers fans, so he was a Packers fan. He got to do his very first Lambeau leap for real. Congratulations to him. Special moment for him.
Yeah. AD got his first ever NFL reception for 30 yards.
Yes. Unfortunately, he missed a few others, but congratulations in the moment.
Yeah.
Nick Cross again was the top tackler with 15 and 10 solo once again. That's great. I'm not sure if, as much as they ran the ball, you really want your safety to be your top tackler.
Yep. Exactly.
That's the thought there. Like that he's around the ball, like the stuff that's going on, but yeah.
Yeah. The Colts had 0 sacks and only 6 tackle for loss, which is kind of disappointing considering the defensive line talent that you have.
Yep. On the other side, the Packers, Malik Willis was efficient, going 12 for 14 for 122 yards and a tutty.
And Josh Jacobs, excited for the running game because I am a running back, but wrong team. He went for 151 on 32 carries. Once again, we are allowing a mediocre rusher at best to.
He's a former Russian champion.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like now he's not as great. I'd say Joe Mixon and him are on the same level, and they're not great. I'd say Jonathan Taylor is a better running back than both of them.
It's fair.
But I'm just saying, just with we don't have like outstanding players, but we have a really good linebacking core and a really good defensive line.
Yep.
If you put 2 and 2 together, we should be able to stop the run.
Yeah. His carries he had less per carry.
Yeah, he had about JT. just about 5 per carry.
Yeah. Romeo Doubs though caught 3 passes for 62. Most of those on that one late pass down the sideline, which was a great pass. But it was a little concerning because I felt like Jalen Jones had position and Romeo Doubs came up and just mossed him. But like literally all Jones had to do was jump a little bit, put his arm up, knock it down. So it's a little disappointing, must say.
Yep. Now we're on to the intangibles. I will start first because this is kind of my thing.
Yes.
They ran the ball and they kept running the ball.
Yep.
Congratulations, you did that part well.
Yeah.
And you had over 100.
even down to the last, like when they had no more timeouts on that last drive and they're pinned deep. AR has the moment where nothing's open. He just takes off down the sideline, right? Yeah. Same kind of thing when on the touchdown drive before that. There was nothing open, so he decided to rush for himself on a 4th and 11, 3rd and 11, whatever. It was a lot. It was 3rd or 4th and 11, and he went 11 and a half and dove for it and got it. They called it correctly on the field and also went back and confirmed it, which is great.
Yeah.
And then they also did what I said that they should do. One of my keys to the game, let them make the penalties, right? The Packers had 6 penalties for 50 yards, including 1 touchdown called back. They ended up getting that touchdown later, but anything that, is backbreaker, they had some pretty early backbreaking penalties. So, they did that right.
Yeah.
But
I was going to say, I'll let you take this one.
You lose the turnover battle, you lose the game.
Yep.
And I'm not the only one that says this. There's somebody else that would agree with me.
Turnovers is the big one. You can't win any game with multiple turnovers. So that's on me. I gotta go back, watch the film, and just correct the little things that I made mistakes on. Despite the false starts or whatever was out there. Turning the ball over, that's a no-go right there. First pick, that was just me. I saw AP coming across the field. I just released it a little too high and it sailed to the safety. That was me. And then the second one, also me. I thought the backer was going to slide underneath the route to AD, so I thought I was going to get Pitt right there. But the backer made a good play.
Yeah, that second one was really tough. On the replay, I saw AD cutting across wide open. They ran two ins, and AR just chose wrong. And they had kind of the cornerback that was kind of playing both, and he chose Pitt. He made it look like he was going to choose AD and chose Pitt. It left AD wide open. It's just kind of read it a little wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, I might be right. It's the second game in a row where the time of possession was 40 minutes for them and 20 minutes for the Colts. And you can't win games when that happens either.
Yep. Gus Bradley. You failed the assignment.
Yeah.
You had a backup quarterback in. And you have the running back is, like you said earlier, the former rushing champion.
Yeah. And a creative offensive coach who knows how to use these different things in Matt LaFleur.
You know exactly what he's going to try and do. You know he's going to use the running back. You know that you didn't do well against Joe Mixon with the running game.
Sweep this way, sweep this way.
What are they going to do?
Hand this way, run it this way, run it this way, run
the ball. It looked like my six-man team in junior year after our quarterback went down. They would always hand me the ball. The first couple games, they always handed the ball off to me. Now, we did different stuff. We toss left, toss right. We had 4 different plays that we ran. Handoff right, handoff left, toss right. That's all we ever did. And if I was lined up on the outside, it was a jet sweep. That's literally all we did. Now, it worked. But that's six-man. It's different. It's high school ball. I'm probably a lot better than the people that we played. This is the NFL. This is not how this works. If they are one-dimensional, you should be able to stop it.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying Malik Willis is a terrible quarterback. Obviously, he was very efficient in what he did today. He passed for, I think, 10 yards per reception, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Malik did a good job. He executed his job, and Josh Jacobs did his too. So, that's on our defense. And like I said earlier, we have the linebackers to stop it. We have the defensive line to stop it. Like we saw last year, we were very, very good against the run last year. It was the pass game that we weren't great against. But here we are losing to the run. This doesn't make sense. We have pretty much the same people, if not better run defense because of the addition on the edges.
It's a lot of money on that defense.
So my thought is it's got to be this game. It has to be. You work on the pass game, but you lose the run game. That doesn't make sense. That's not how that works. That's not how it should work. So
I won't disagree with you, but I will add to you. So I will see your Bradley, and I will raise you a Ballard.
Gotcha.
Because
I figured you were going to do that.
Chris Ballard failed the assignment as well.
Okay.
I mean, this week they lost their number one corner for probably the season. Also lost their number one safety. Already had a very inexperienced secondary that we believe in our guys, and did absolutely nothing to make that better, other than bring back someone who didn't even make the initial 53-man roster or the practice squad. I mean, we love Ronnie Harrison. He's been great. He's had moments. But that's all that was done this week when we said there's plenty of people out there that you can either go trade for or even pick up that are already out there, free agents. Nothing was done. So Chris Ballard also laid a goose egg on his assignment.
Yep. The questions on defense are how to stop the run. It's pretty simple. You just go back to the fundamentals. Get off the block, swim move, spin move, something. I can do this, and I am not a defensive lineman. I played linebacker. I know how to do it, though. Get off the block and fundamentally wrap him up and bring him down. It's really not that hard.
They could not bring them down worth anything. Like, it was like pinball. And, like, nobody. Zaire Franklin, Dayo Dangbo, like, there were so many missed tackles. Ridiculous. The questions on offense are the situational play calling. Be honest and keep it real. The timing of the routes and things like that. And getting AD to actually finish plays. He stopped on a play. He went to go run before he collected the ball on one of his catches. I think what was it? I think he missed a block on another big one that was troubling.
There was a specific one I remember about AD at the very end of the game, like the final drive. AR sailed it. It was a little long. It was almost a pick. AD just stood there and just watched the guy almost catch the ball. I'm like, first off, if you go over there, that is not. I mean, it's not like it's not Jair Alexander. It's no one like that. It's you can make the catch on him. You should have been 4th, 5th wide receiver in the draft. Very stacked wide receiver draft. You are a good wide receiver. You can go over there and make the catch, but you choose to stand there and watch him almost pick it off, almost. And if he picked it off, you sold your team. That's not on AR. That's you. Yes, AR sailed it, but you gave up on the play. Never, ever stop until the whistle blows.
Always assume the ball is coming to you. Always run the route like that's your ball because you never know when it might be.
Exactly.
But here's the deal. For as bad as the game was in some spots, there was still a chance to win. There were multiple chances in pivotal moments where a win could have been captured. But here's the deal. When there's a chance to win, good teams win.
Yep.
There's been a chance the past 2 games, and the Colts have not come away with a victory.
Yep.
That's just where it is.
I mean, just as an example, Colts couldn't come away with a victory. The Niners were in a different situation, so I'll go with the Chiefs. Chiefs were in a win. If you hit a field goal, you win the game. Patrick did what he was able to do. Got him in field goal range. Harris and Bucker nailed the field goal. Good teams win it.
Winning teams find a way to win. Losing teams don't.
Yeah. AR though is a must-watch television show in the fourth quarter. I mean, he's just insane. True. Whenever it's in the fourth quarter, he doesn't have to think all this stuff. Just go for it. He's insane at what he does. How can we get this all the time?
It's what I've said. Like, anytime that the Colts went no huddle, I was like, yes, let's go. Because I was like, this is where it's at. This is where, like, let's do it, right? The less that he is in his head, the better off it will be, right? Yeah. In some spots, I got concerned because they would slow the tempo. You know, the Packers intentionally would slow the tempo, or the Colts did, you know? Just keep it moving. The dude is great, and he has the instincts to know what to do. So now when he's young and he doesn't have all of the tools and all of the knowledge and all that experience, let him play quick and free. See what happens, you know? I mean, that's a hill I'm willing to die on, you know?
Yeah.
Letting him, be great at what he does. So,
Yeah. Agreed.
Only 32 teams ever have made the playoffs after starting 0-2.
Yeah.
So it's not out of the question.
No, just unlikely. And
Getting slimmer.
yeah. Isaiah was talking about the Colts and stuff today. Before like during the Chiefs game was going on, I'm like, Bengals, please, man, I need to talk to Isaiah. I need to. And then the Chiefs won. I'm like, oh my goodness. But
little tease. I don't think you did so hot in the pick six, but you have to come back on Wednesday for that one.
Don't. Yeah. Me and Isaiah. So I told Isaiah, I said, hey, you can ask anyone. You can look back at the podcast last year or like earlier this year. I said, this year is not our year. The next year is our year. That's what I have been saying.
Yep.
Now I kind of got on board a little bit.
You did. And then you picked 11-6 in the season preview.
I did. It still can happen.
It can. There's a lot of football left.
But I think 2 of the games that we played were games that I had was winning. But I told Isaiah, I said, next year is our year. He said, okay, whatever helps your delusions. I was like, okay.
Oh, man. All right. What's your Mayflower move of the game, your game-changing play of the game that we call the Mayflower move?
Mayflower move. I'd say it has to be the touchdown to Pierce, just to find some hope for this game, because we've talked about a decent amount of bad stuff. I'd say more bad stuff than good stuff about this game, just to kind of find like a beacon of this game. I think that touchdown was well executed. Great by Pierce to get another touchdown. Was that 3 on him for the season? So I think he's the leader for the Colts so far. Like, serious props to him. Like, I am sorry for dogging on you, Pierce. You're playing amazing.
Top receiver right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's it, just because it gave us that hope that we're like, okay, wait, hold on. If we stop them, score a touchdown and an extra point, we're winning. So,
like there were so many times throughout the game, I'm like, oh man, all hope is lost. But then I'm like, Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
Woo, right? Woo. Like, you never know when that could happen. Right? Mm-hmm. And it almost did several different times. He had that one to Pitt that just, so close, right? Because that was earlier in the drive. If they hit that was 2 shots. That's 2 plays and a touchdown. Now they don't have to onside kick. Now they can kick off and stop them, maybe get the ball back a little bit better. Not have to do all that. My Mayflower move could be that big play down the sideline to Dobbs from that big pass from Malik.
Yeah.
It could be the AR conversion where he just dove and got that first down. But to me, you know how big I am into coaching. It's the play call on 3rd and 1 from the Packers' 28-yard line. First play of the 4th quarter. JT was not in the game, even though he had all this momentum and the running and everything.
Oh, I think I know what you're going. I think I know what you're
saying. The play call was Sermon on an option to the weak side where 2 blocks were missed.
Mm-hmm.
My questions would be, where's the tush push? Where's the 5 wide, right? Empty backfield, quarterback draw with a shot option, right? There's so many things there. Where's the run it on 3rd with JT? And then if that works, great. If not, naked bootleg with AR on the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
and then the worst part is that it led to another 50-plus yarder missed field goal for Matt Gay.
Yeah.
Did he come back soon?
I really do miss Chase.
I know. Oh, I know. He's been hitting everything for Tampa Bay.
We still have Spencer.
I know. I feel like we need to whisper a lot of this. We're dogging on a lot of people.
It needs to be done though. Colts media is too nice.
The Indianapolis media, too soft. The Colts, like the in-house Colts people, they're gonna do whatever they can to spin it all awesome for the Colts fans. We're fans, and we want to see us do well. Your mother is fully convinced that the season is a complete failure, and Latu is still gonna get hurt and be a bust. And she says that nothing is going to change unless there are massive changes. So I don't necessarily disagree. I don't know if it goes to players. She thinks it's the whole thing, but that's where she is. So you're all in player of the game or star of the game.
Star of the game. JT. I mean, he did what I said he was going to do this week. I predicted the future because of him. So, I mean, I'm happy that the running back did good. I'm a huge running back guy, so props to him. Congrats, JT.
Yeah. Once again, I got to give credit where credit is due. And so my star of the game is Matt LaFleur. He turned Malik Willis into a star potentially. Maybe not for the Packers, but, the Dolphins may need somebody. There's a few teams that might need somebody. So whether that's this year or the next year, he just showed the world what can be done with Malik Willis with good coaching. And he came in with a game plan, and everybody knew what that game plan was going to be, but he did it in such a creative way, executed it in such a precise way that there was not much that could be done, at least for Gus Bradley. So that's my star of the game. I know it's not a player, but sometimes the star is the coach.
As far as I did with all the calculations and stuff I did, Nick Cross should be leading the league in tackles. 14 last week, 15 this week, which would make it 29. They already calculated the Miami and Buffalo, both one from each team, has 19. And then close after that was TJ Edwards with 15 and a couple other with 15, a couple with 14. So we'll see how those end up turning out. I'll probably check around Monday, Tuesday, something like that, just to check up on Nick Cross because, I mean, that'd be pretty cool. Another guy for the Colts leading the league. It's a safety. And all the other guys are linebackers there.
Yep.
But, I mean, hey, it's a bright spot.
Yep. Well, that's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow and the rest of the week with our update from the South, Unstable Pick 6, Fantasy Stable, our preview of the Colts' second straight NFC North team as they host the Bears.
This is Liam.
And this is Kevin.
Reminding you to stay all in Colts.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.